Welcome to Mark Henry Golf. So for the second iron review of the year, I have these two beauties. So we have the Ping Blueprint irons. So we have the S and the T. So the S is the forged cavity and the T is the forged blade. So I've been roughly working in the game for just under 30 years. So I am used to Ping producing a powerhouse, big cavity, booming iron down there. Like the Ping Zing, the Ping Zing 2, the i2 Plus, and now right up to date, the G430 iron. So in my head, this is quite bizarre that Ping have brought these irons out, but they've been doing that now for the last few years. So it's very interesting to see how these perform. So you have to be very careful when you're moving from that big powerhouse cavity back to a forged iron, that you don't lose too much ball speed. Clubhead speed will say the same, but you've got potential you might lose some ball speed and forgiveness. So then you have lost more than you have gained. So you've got to make sure you cover that. You can cover that with the option of a powerhouse spec. So you've got your retro spec of the 35 degrees for your 7 iron, or the power spec, which is 31.5. So if you hit the irons down there, you like them, they're forgiving enough and they're not going far enough, then you can do that option and that will give you your distance back. So right, let's start with the forged cavity first, which is the Blueprint S. See how good it looks behind the ball, how forgiving it is, and what distance it gives me. And just to hit an iron, a Ping iron, which just looks really traditional and looks great behind the ball, so it'd be interesting to see how it performs. So we'll give the S a go first, then we'll follow it up to the T and we'll compare the two. So that is the Ping S flying down there. Forged cavity, which I have to say looks extremely nice behind the ball. So nice thin top leading edge there, but not too scary. With the retro loft, looks a nice bit of loft on it, so it looks nice and forgiving in that respect, so not too intimidating. And let's see if we lose anything compared to, say, the traditional, so say slightly harder cavity back that I might hit down there. So clubhead speed 79, so just loosening up, so a little bit slow, but ball speed was 106. So for 79 clubhead speed, ball speed of 106 is pretty steady, so that's quite cool. And it's carried 150 yards with 35 degrees on it as a 7 iron. So I feel that's done pretty well. Right, so I'm going to go. Does feel nice off the face. So it looks good behind the ball. I think Ping have got a good product here. A really good product. So if you're looking at a like forged iron, forged cavity, looking good behind the ball, and you're comparing it, say, against the Mizuno, I've just taken off the quad dot there. Cool, keep that bit in. So if you're comparing it, say, against the Mizuno, Callaway, anything that's got that where it's a smaller head forged, definitely don't look past this club. So 82 clubhead speed, so getting a little bit faster, gradually waking up the old bones there and muscles. So ball speed there was 109, and then that's carried 157 yards. So like I said, for 35 degrees, so if you then did the power spec, you've got 31.5, that's potentially carrying another like 10 yards. So that's quite cool. Let's have one more go. So that was a little bit off the toe. So that was a missed strike compared to the other one, which was hit quite well. And it's done quite well. So that's what you want, really. So you want to see one out the middle, you want to see a miss hit and see how it's done. And that's, so 81, so a little bit slower. Ball speed's come down slightly, yardage has come down, but still carried 155 yards. So for the Blueprint S, that is definitely a thumbs up and worth putting in the mix. So let's see if the Blueprint T, hold on a minute, I almost had the wrong way around then. The Blueprint T, so that is your Tor forged bladed iron. Let's see if there's a significant difference between the two. I mean, it's not rocket science, it just looks a bit more scary behind the ball. So it's slightly thinner top leading edge, looks great behind the ball, but just doesn't look as forgiving. Still did alright. 82 miles an hour covered speed, ball speed 108, so just 1 mile an hour further, but that could have been a missed strike from me. Obviously, I'm not a machine. So it's then carried 157 yards, so pretty much in the same ballpark. It is just not necessary. Stood behind the ball. If I've got a longer iron in this club, I think that would look a bit lively for me behind the ball. So that's the main bit you've got to work out, is when you put that club head down there and you're trying between the two, you've got to be realistic. You've got to be right with your expectations on how consistent your strike is and how forgiving is the club forgiving enough for you. You can do you can mix the setup, so that would definitely be worth looking at. So I recommend 8 iron pitching wedge, 8 iron, 9 iron pitching wedge in the Blueprint T, and then the S to finish the rest of the set off, depending how far you want to go through to the set. So I think that would be quite a good split. But definitely both of them, when you're comparing that type of head, then don't forget the ping, don't forget the Blueprint, because I think it is a good club. Nice feel, good looks behind the ball, doesn't lose any distance for me, won't lose any distance for you, but if it does, you can cover that with that powerhouse spec where the 7 iron then goes down to 31.5. So any questions or comments, send them through, give us a good thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you soon.